Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ellie, and today's video I'm going to be talking about the books that are at the very top of my TBR for 2026. This video is not including any releases for 2026. These are just the books that I already own that I'm just really excited to get to. Some of them have been on the TBR for a very long time. This video could probably have been double the length because there are just so many books I'm really looking forward to reading, but these are just the ones on like a first glance at my bookshelf that I was like, I have to get to ASAP. I'm going to start off with the romance books. So first we have The Striker by Anna Huang. I have not yet started this series. I've been highly anticipating it. Anna Huang is one of my favourite authors. I've loved everything that I have read by her so far, and this is her newest series. I own the first two and just haven't yet started it, so this is one that's definitely a priority. But this is the first book in a new sports romance series. So in this one we have Asha, who is a football player, and Scarlett, who is a ballerina, and it is forbidden romance as Scarlett is Asha's rival's sister. So it sounds really interesting. Then I have Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. This is a hockey romance. I have heard nothing but good reviews. Again, it's just another series that I need to start. I have the first two books and I feel like I just put off books I'm really anticipating and I save them for the right time, but the right time never seems to come. So I think I'm just gonna have like a great reading year in 2026, and I'm just gonna finally get to all of the books that I've been putting off. So as I said, this is a hockey romance. So this one follows Reese and Sadie, and this is during college. I'm sorry if you can hear a dog barking, but my downstairs neighbours have a dog, and anytime someone so much as just walks past the door, it sets the dog off. And I also forgot to say at the start, I'm sorry about the lighting, but as I said, I was caught in the rain, so it is very dark and dreary, and yeah, I need to invest in some kind of light because it's not the best. But yeah, like I said, I've just heard so many good things about this book. So many people seem to love it. Then I have Save Me by Mona Caston. So this is the first book in the series that the TV show Maxton Hall is based off. I am still trying to make my way through season 2, but I've really loved it and I just want to start the book series. I had been putting this one off because I didn't want any spoilers for the series by reading the books, because I'd already started the series before I started reading the books, but I've not heard too many people talk about it. I've seen a few people say that the books and the TV show are very similar, but I've not really seen many people read this, so I'm intrigued to see what it's like. Then going back to Anna Huang, we have King of Sloth. This is the fourth book in the Kings of Sin series. There are 5 books out currently, but this is where I am up to in this series. The third book was my favourite, and like with the other books, I've just been putting off ones that I think I'm really going to love. This one follows Xavier and Sloane, and they are forced to work together. So I think it's enemies to lovers, and yeah, he's her client, so it might be a bit forbidden in that sense. But yeah, I'm loving this series so much and I just need to continue it. And then I have Nightshade by Autumn Woods, another one that I have heard absolutely amazing things about, and I've been putting this one off simply because I heard it ended on a cliffhanger, so I didn't want to pick this one up until it's near the release of book 2 because I hate cliffhangers. And then I also have the Smart and Sip subscription, and January's pick is a special edition of Nightshade, so it's another reason why I was putting it off. I'm going to give this edition to my best friend. She has been searching for this works edition everywhere and people are selling it for crazy money on Vinted, so when my special edition arrives I'm gonna hand this one over to my best friend. But yeah, I've heard so many good things about this one. This is another college romance set in the Scottish Highlands, and our female main character Ophelia gets stalked, and it's a murder, mystery and revenge. It just sounds so good. I really want to get to this. I've almost picked it up a few times, but yeah, I'm waiting. I think book 2 comes out in April, so I will probably read this around March, but I'm really hoping I'm gonna love this. So then I have a series that I haven't started that is young adult that I'm really excited for, and that is the Blood for Blood series. So these are like YA mafia romances. So we have Vendetta, Mafiosa and Inferno by Catherine Doyle. I have these editions from Waterstones with these gorgeous sprayed edges, but I really love Catherine Doyle's books. I recently read The Dagger and the Flame by her. I've read the Twin Crown series, and yeah, I've been wanting to read more by her, and yeah, I bought these editions when I saw them ages ago, and just the idea of like a YA mafia series really intrigued me, so I'm hoping to binge this series in the new year. Then I have A Fairy Tale by Veronica Lancet, and I'm not too sure whether this is a fantasy or a dark romance. It just sounded really intriguing. So it's set in 1955, and our female main character is an orphaned English teacher when she receives a letter that her biological father has passed away, and she finds that she has been included in his will. But to be able to get any of the inheritance, she must travel to Fairydale to go to his funeral. So she makes the journey, but there are odd things going around at Fairydale, and she meets two men. One haunts her dreams. It sounds like he's a ghost, which is just really interesting. I could be wrong, but it sounds like he's a ghost. And she finds herself embroiled in a web of lies, deceit and inexplicable events that make her question her sanity. It just sounds so cool. I feel like this is probably a great spooky season read, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold off until spooky season. I've heard mixed reviews on it. It is a very big and chunky book, but I'm looking forward to it. And then we'll end with some fantasy books. First off, we have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. So this is the second book to Phantasma. I read that back in June or July and I gave it 5 stars. It's one of my favourite books of the year. So this one is following the female main character from the first book's sister, and it follows her journey in the Phantasma house thing. So yeah, I am really looking forward to this. I've heard some people say that this isn't as good as the first one, so I'm kind of nervous, but I just loved the world and the writing of the first book so much that I'm hoping I'm gonna love this one too. Another sequel that I'm very excited to get to is Brimstone by Callie Hart. I feel like everyone read this the second it came out, but I need to reread Quicksilver before I get to this one because I read it at the very start of this year, so I don't remember a ton about what happened. All I remember is that I love Kingfisher. So yeah, I've been putting this one off when it was first released because I needed to do a reread, and I was gonna try and do a reread before this was released so I could jump straight into it, but that never happened. So I'm just adding it to my 2026 TBR to do the reread and then pick this one up straight away. Again, heard mixed reviews on this one. Some people who really loved Quicksilver were a bit disappointed in this, so I'm really hoping that's not going to be the case for me. Then I have Diabound by Sable Sorensen. I've seen everyone reading and talking about this book, so I picked up a copy for myself. In this one, we follow a female main character whose sister is kidnapped, so she has to try and find her. So to do that, she enlists in the army and is thrown into the deadly bonding trials. Trial books seem to have been really popular within the last year, and like I've said with every single book so far, I've heard so many good things about this one that I'm just so excited to get to it. Then I have A Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I will definitely be reading this in January because my friend and I have started our own book club and this is the first pick. So this is probably going to be the first of all of these books that I do manage to tick off. But this one is like a vampire hunter romance, I believe. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab is my all-time favourite book. I then tried to read Vicious because that was another book club that I'd been going to. That was a pick back in June or July, I think, and I couldn't really get on with it and didn't like it, so I'm kind of nervous for this one because I'm just scared I'm not going to love it. but because I love Addie LaRue so much, I'm just going to give like everything she writes a go. And we have another one that seemed to kind of blow up recently, and that is The Wolf King by Lauren Palfreyman. I've been seeing this everywhere and I fell into the hype. A war erupts between humans and werewolves, and a princess finds herself torn between duty and desire. On the eve of her wedding, Princess Aurora catches the eye of beautiful Alpha Callum. Okay, I just ran out of storage, so I need to wrap this up quick so that I can edit, upload, and then I can delete what I've done so that I can continue with my Vlogmas. But yeah, I've heard many good things about this one. I think the second book is currently out. You can get it on Kindle, but the physical one isn't out yet, so I'm probably not going to put this off too long because I know that I can continue the second one. I'm not too sure when the physical edition of it is going to come out. Then I have Silver Elite by Danny Francis, another one that has been super popular this year. I wasn't going to pick this up, but then I was just really intrigued by it, so I picked up a signed copy when I was at Yauk last month, and I think this is an enemies to lovers, and I love nothing more than an enemies to lovers romantasy. Then the final book on this list is The Rebel and the Rose by Catherine Doyle. As I said earlier, I read the first book this year and I was gonna read this straight after, but I didn't get around to it, so this is one that I'm really excited to get to. I need to kind of read this whilst the first book is still fresh in my mind, but this is a YA romantasy and I can't really talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything that happened in the first book. Well, I was obsessed with this. So they are just some of the books that are at the very top of my TBR for 2026. Let me know if you have read any of these and what are your top books for 2026. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you tomorrow for the next day of Vlogmas.